Dear learners, welcome back. In this video, we are going to solve another question which has been previously asked in the year 2011 in ESE for 10 marks. And let me tell you, this is a very easy question. So it is beginners friendly. Now, without any further delay, let's start with the question. The question says that a compound bar consists of a circular rod of steel of diameter 25 millimeter. So there is a circular rod of steel and its diameter is 25 millimeter. This is the diameter of the steel rod, okay? Rigidly fitted into a copper tube of internal diameter 25 mm and thickness 2.5 mm. So the bigger rod which you can see here, or the bigger cylinder which you can see here, is of copper, okay? And the thickness is given to you, right? So this thickness, so let me mark it in another color. This thickness is 2.5 mm, okay? 2.5 mm. This is 2.5 mm. If the bar is subjected to an axial load of 100 kilonewton, so there is an axial load acting in the bar and that is 100 kilonewton. This is 100 kilonewton axial load. Find the stresses developed in the two materials. So we have to find what is the stress developed in the steel rod, as well as we have to find out what is the stress developed in the copper rod. And what we are given with, we are given with the modulus of elasticity, that is Young's modulus. For steel it is 2.5 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per millimeter square, and for copper it is 1.2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per millimeter square. These two informations are given to us and our task is to find out what is the stress developed in the two bars, right? So we know that this is very easy. We know what is stress. Stress is force per unit area. So if someone is thinking that that force is given to us, that is 100 kilonewton, and area we can easily find out. So stresses will be same. It is force per unit area for the steel rod and force per unit area for the copper rod. Then let me tell you, your concept is little bit wrong, okay? Why? Because the force is 100 kilonewton for both of the bars, right? And this will be shared by both of the bars. But one thing is different, that the two bars is having different materials. So each one will carry a different load. The load will not be equally shared, like 50 kilonewton for this and 50 kilonewton for that. No. So one will carry more load and another will carry another load. So how we will decide which bar will carry more load and which bar will carry less load? So that is our first objective. So our first objective is to find out which bar is carrying how much load, okay? And once we know that, it's now very easy. Load force per unit area will give us the stresses, okay? So let me write it down. What is given to us? First of all, the diameter of steel is given to us. It is 25 mm. So from this we can find out what is the area of steel, right? So area of steel will be how much? It is pi by 4 d square. So pi by 4 diameter of steel square, that is pi by 4 into 25 square, and that will give you how much is the area of steel. Let me just calculate this. It is 490.87 millimeter square. This is the area of the steel, okay? Now the diameter of copper is given to you. The thickness is given to you, not the exact diameter. So what is that? The diameter of copper will be 25 plus 2.5 plus 2.5, okay? So it is going to be 30 millimeter, okay? So 30 millimeter is the external diameter, minus, if we do this area, that is area of the entire copper, this bigger cylinder area. This is the, if we find out the area of this one and subtract the area of the internal iron rod, we'll get the area of the copper rod, right? Which is hollow cylindrical in shape. So let's do that. You can say area of copper is equals to pi by 4 into 30 square. This will give you the area of the entire rod minus this area of steel give you the area of the copper. So what it will be, or you can say, you can just write it like this also: pi by 4, the outer diameter square minus the inner diameter square will give you the area of the copper rod. Okay, so let me just calculate this. It is pi by 4 into 30 minus 25 square, and that will give you 215.98, right? So it is 215.98 millimeter square. Now we have got what is the area of our steel and what is the area of the copper, right? Now our next step is to find out how much load is being shared by both of them. So total load we know. Total load is how much? Total load is 100 kilonewton, right? So let me just convert it into newtons, or you can say it is 100 into 10 to the power 3 newtons, or it is 10 to the power 5 newtons. Okay, this is the total load acting over here. Now total load will be shared by the steel. Some load will be carried by the steel and some load will be carried by the copper. Now our task is to find out which rod is carrying how much load. Okay, so this is our equation number 1. Now it is given that it is rigidly fitted into the copper tube. That means the steel tube is rigidly fitted into the copper tube. So we can we say that the amount of compression is same for both the bars. That is, the change in the length of each bar will be same because they are rigidly held together, right? So change in length of steel must be equals to change in length of copper. Okay, now we know that what is change in length? It is given by PL by AE. So that means change in length of P, that is force by in the steel, length of steel by area of steel into E, that is Young's modulus of steel, should be same as load carried by copper, length of copper, area of copper by Young's modulus of copper. This is because of the compatibility equation. This is compatibility equation. And how did we write this? We wrote this because change in length in both the bars will be same because both the bars are rigidly held together, rigidly fitted together. It is given in the question. It is a clue given to us. Okay, so we can write this. Now the length is not given to us, but we know that length of the both the bars are same, right? So length of copper bar must be equals to length of steel bar. If both are same, can we not cancel these? Now area of steel and area of copper we have found out. See, this was the area of steel, this was the area of steel, and this was the area of copper. We just found out, right? And what is the Young's modulus of steel and copper? It is given to us. So using that, can we write this is the force in steel is equals to area of steel. What is area of steel? It is 490.87, right? 490.87 into, this is Young's modulus of steel and it is given to us as 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per millimeter square. So 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per millimeter square must be equals to force in copper Cu. And what is the area of copper? It is 215.98, right? So it is 215.98. This was the area of copper, and then the Young's modulus of copper was 1.2 into 10 to the power 5. So 1.2 into 10 to the power 5. Can we write this that force taken by the steel is equals to, we will bring this term to the other side of the equation. So we are getting 490.87 into 2 into 10 to the power 5 into PCU by 215.98 into 1.2 into 10 to the power 5, right? 1.2 into 10 to the power 5. So let's solve this a little bit. So this 10 to the power 5 and 10 to the power 5 will be gone, and 1 2 is zero point 0.6 times over here. And then let's solve this a little bit. So it is 490.87 by 215.98 into zero point 0.6. Okay, so we are getting it as, this implies, let me write it down, PS is equals to 3.78, uh, or let's say 3.787 it is, so we can write it as 3.79 PCU, and let this be equation number 2. This is equation number 2. So now we have got two equations. First is that total load is the sum of load taken by the steel plus the sum of load taken by the copper. It is. And second equation is load in the steel is 3.79 times the load in copper. So steel is carrying more load than copper. It is evident from the equation number 2. Now let's put this equation number 2 in equation number 1, and we'll find out how much load each one is carrying, right? Now we know that how much is the total load. Total load is 10 to the power 5 newtons. Okay, total load is equals to total load in steel plus total load in copper. Now total load is how much? Total load is 10 to the power 5. What is the load in steel? It is in terms of copper. Can I write it as 3.79 PCU? 3.79 PCU plus PCU. This is how can I write from equation 2, right? And this is equation number 1. Let's solve this a little bit. 10 to the power 5 is equals to 3.79 PCU plus PCU will give you 4.79 PCU, and this implies load in copper is 10 to the power 5 by 4.79 newtons. So this is going to be how much? 10 to the power 5 by 4.79, and that's equals to 20876.8 newtons. So this is load in copper. How much is the load in steel? Load in steel is equals to 10 to the power 5 minus 20876.8 Newton. So this is going to be, let me just solve it, minus 20876.8. So this is going to be 79,123.2 newtons. So this is the load carried by the steel. Now once we know what is the load carried by the copper and the load carried by the steel, we can easily calculate what is the stresses. Very easy. How to find out? So stress in steel is force in steel by area of steel. So that will be, force in steel is how much? It is 79123. 79123.2 newtons by area of steel is how much? Area of steel is 490.87. 490.87 millimeter square. So just solve this and you will get the answer as 23.2 by 490.87, and that will give you 161.18 Newton per millimeter square, or you can write it as megapascals as. Now let's calculate how much is the stress in copper. Stress in copper similarly is force in copper by area of copper. So what is the force in copper? It was 20876.8. 20876.8 by, what is the area of copper? Area of copper was 215 0.98, 215.98, and that will give you, let me just calculate it out. This is in newtons, that is this, it is in millimeter square. 2087.6.8 by 215.98, that will give you 96.66 megapascals. It is newton per millimeter square, and that is megapascals. Okay, so the main takeaway from the question was that whenever a load is acting, a single load is acting in a compound structure means two structures rigidly held together, then forces are not equally distributed in both the two materials. Okay, uh, they will share a different load for each one. So you first have to find out load, and for that you will be using a compatibility equation, and once you know the load, it is very easy to calculate the stress. Now that's all for this class. Those who want to support this channel, please scan this QR code and support me with whatever amount you wish to, and do like and share me for more. Bye bye and have a nice day.